What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And as promised, the Car Guy Coffee Podcast is brewing solutions with incredible car guy mind, the one, the only, Jasen Rice. What's going on, brother? Welcome to the party.
That's a great intro, man.
Well, we're excited to have you on the show. You know, Jason's somebody that we've been watching speak for the last year plus, and we've seen his product grow. But most importantly, it's not even really about his product. To him, it's about the industry. It's about how can we shift and make differences. And you've been doing this a long time, man. I know you have tons of accolades we could talk about. I know you have tons of awards. You've been on magazines. What your product does is huge right now. And I think that a lot of people are really starting to get the wind of it. And the more that people are, the more that people want it. But I don't even think that's what it's about for you. I think you know that that's natural. About doing the right thing. I think you're about just trying to make sure that dealers and customers are able to connect, right, and be able to do it the right way and not miss opportunities. Yeah. So, man, Jason, so welcome. It's such a welcome to have you here. We're pumped up, man, and I know that we are ready to do a 5-liner with you too, and we're going to set that up where we give you guys a full hour of this guy knowing his story about him, his family, and everything that he's been through. But today, I want to talk a little bit about LotPop and what's hot right now, what's popping at LotPop.
What is popping?
So, Jason, how are you doing today, by the way?
Awesome, man. I just got done talking out there, and that was a little bit, I want to say tough, but, there's a big mixture of dealers in there. Some that are just subprime, some are buy here, pay here, high percentage of that. So a lot of the retail strategies, but, it came down to, I said, that we talk about, sometimes don't relate with those dealers, but the one thing that does relate is cars and customers. And that's what we want to talk about.
Yep. And you're always trying to get them, right? Where do I get my cars now? Where do I get my customers? Everybody's trying to work on that.
And how do I connect them two together? Even the ones that are looking at cars that I've already sold. And that's what I love about what you're talking about. And you've seen some really unique data. And it's really hit you in your head. I know you and I had a great conversation last week, and man, it really opened my eyes up to stuff. Some of it was kind of obvious. We're just not paying attention to because we're so tunnel visioned, right? Mm-hmm. We're so used to one way of doing things. And when you can look at it in a different perspective, which you were able to find, you could do some amazing things. And we'll talk about that some too. But back to LotPop, man. So what's been going on with LotPop over the last 12 months?
Well, we focus on, we call the product Lot Walk because, again, we do a physical lot walk every day. We go check sure our cars are standing tall, plates are good, cars aren't dirty, and then the customers are meet and greeted. So we're combining both inventory management. Dealers have multiple inventory management tools. VinQ is one of them that's here. So you get an inventory management tool and then the CRM, and a lot of times those two don't work together. And so we're trying to get that. And really, I want the mind shift to be for that used car manager to take responsibility of those leads. A lot of times they rely on the BDC or internet director or hey, no. When I talk to sometimes a used car manager about the leads, they want to call, well, let me go get my internet person in here. It's like, no, hold on a second.
Right.
If you've seen a customer for 10 minutes on your parking lot not being helped, you'll go meet and greet them and get somebody to help them.
Come on. I love that.
So let's make sure our leads are that you should be just as responsible for those leads. And then going back to the internet people, what do they have flexibility of knowing other cars and opportunities to show the customers? One of the, you brought it up, one of the things that threw me off because doing internet for 25 years is how such high percentage of our active leads on sold cars. We're running it. Right. We're looking at 60+%. Some stores at 80% of their active leads on sold cars, especially if you're moving your inventory pretty quick. You'll get 4 or 5 leads on a car. That car sells. Now what? So, taking that customer and trying to find a switch opportunity. Again, if on the showroom floor, a customer walks in the door, I love that. We're going to switch them. So the CRM sometimes, again, doesn't talk about it. A lot of times the internet person gives up on that lead, or they have to go to the desk and ask the salesman what other vehicles they could talk about. Right. So we're chunking it up by segment. If you got a large pickup truck lead that was at 40 grand, but that truck sold, do I have other large pickup trucks within, $5 grand of that? And then spoon feed that to the internet people and say, here, don't give up on the lead. There's 4 other vehicles you can talk to them about. So if I can get both teams to work together, the inventory manager help the lead management and the internet manager help move cars because they're talking about other vehicles to move. I think it's a win-win.
Win-win. And you've said multiple times already working together. right? And there's
Boom.
a key piece inside of that that is key. So real quick, we're going to give you car guys and car gals an opportunity to work together with us and tag a car guy, tag a car gal, and
right.
share this around.
I'm doing that right now. That's why I had
we
my
got
head
to
down.
do this.
I mean, it look like I'm listening to everything he's saying, but I'm over here sharing
check
right
it
now.
out.
Don't worry
Share
about that.
this
You're the guest.
around,
We got you
guys,
shared.
gals.
Trust me,
But
there's plenty being shared right now.
there's so much on this, right? When we are sharing this around, when we are making the connection, and the reason why we want to make sure that you do get this shared around, or you tag somebody that can use some information about how to prioritize the inventory, prioritize the customer, whether it's the time, whether it's the type of car. But right now you have somebody that many people spend a good amount of money to sit down and hear the advice that he's giving, the information that he's giving.
Yes.
And they're at these events. Right now you don't have to. And right now there's a key thing that we want to be able to make sure we do plug out and we do kind of brew in this conversation. And that's understanding. So Jason, when you do come and you do these talks, I mean, sometimes you see the same faces in the crowd, right? And you don't do business with them. And then you do business with them down the road. Sometimes they have to sit inside of a session with you 3-4 times before it's like it clicks, right?
But even not to cut you off, but even so, they're still learning something. And I think that's the thing. They come to these events and you spend money to be here, but you get education. So it's not a waste of money. That's a return on your investment. And that's something that Jason's offering to people. He's at almost every event we're at, right? And that's what I love about, we build relationship because we see each other quite often, because we try to find people that are like-minded and we all get together and we do it. But Jason's out there sharing and he's giving free this information he just dropped now. I don't know if you guys understand how deep that is. You really need to think about that. Don't be lazy. Listen to what he just said. Go back and rewind what he just said. Go to one of these events and listen to what he says. Because I'm going to tell you, everything that Jason's ever dropped out there for all of us, and I take notes all the time from what he says, is that he's here to help and he's here to give you education, but it's going to help you figure out how to manage your inventory, but most importantly, how to manage your leads for your inventory. And that's not even something that that wasn't even what he came out to do. He turned it into that. It's because he sees something and he's seeing like a ripple in the matrix. And he's like, hold on a second. Here's how you can make this happen a little bit better. And I think we can fix that. And I love that, man.
Yeah.
It's great that you're doing that. Sorry, Lou.
So you're good. So back to what I was saying though, is that as you have somebody's actual attention right now, and you do come out and you have the attention of these dealers and you're dropping this stuff, and again, if you see them 3-4 times, every time you're putting something of value in their cup, every time you're putting a little bit of a drip of a little bit more of that good stuff, that eventually they get themselves to the point where they want to sip on it. They actually see that there's an issue that your solution can bring. When you do get out here, if there was one, maybe two things that are the key things that you want to make sure somebody does get when you're delivering a message, what would that be?
Well, here, because we mostly focus on inventory management, and one of the examples I give is if let's say your pickup trucks aren't moving, so you go out to the parking lot and you start moving trucks to the front line. So you're moving trucks, and then you see a customer out of the corner of your eyes. Do you continue to move those trucks, or do you stop what you're doing and help the customer? We tend to stop what we're doing. So when it comes to inventory management, if your truck sale rate is slowing down, do you just go to the trucks and start dropping pricing? Or do you stop what you're doing and go, hold on, there's customers over here. Do we have leads? Let's look at the leads first. Let's look at the follow-up. Let's look at the switch opportunities. I've seen a 40-day-old truck just the other day with no leads at all, but there was 10 switch opportunities. There's 10 other active leads that have the same price range. Try to call and switch to this truck.
Exactly.
If it doesn't work, okay, fine. But at least you gave it that opportunity before you just went and dropped the price to try to drive more leads. So even though if you're in your inventory tool and don't see any leads on it, don't give up. You got to figure that. So that's one of the things we're isolating. It's like, you got a truck problem. Here's your truck leads.
Come on.
And then the switch leads. And so I think, again, run your virtual dealership like you do your physical dealership. But we run in two different silos: internet BDC over here, inventory manager over here. We're really not
points, guys.
Working it together.
We got to end it.
Listen to what he said. And one of the things I love that you said inside there, and you said this to me the other day, is like when you're okay, all you sales managers out there, you desk guys, anybody who runs a floor, when you see your guy lot drop, what do? You get in their ass. Excuse my language. When you see your person come in and they work a deal and then they just give up because they get really mad at you because you're not doing your thing. Why don't we do that with our leads? Like he's talking about with your internet sales department, your whatever, your BDC, whatever. Why don't we train them to be more that way? Why don't we hold them accountable for those things? Why do we allow them to drop a 10-day-old lead? Why do we allow them to drop a lead that was on a car that was sold so we no longer think it's a good lead? It's not true. And there's stats that prove it beyond that. But I could tell you from my own personal experience, and I was telling this to Jason when we talked, that was something that we were doing sort of on the side because we were so used to subprime credit at where I worked. I was somehow hero, right? So we'd get them in there. We had to switch. It wasn't like something that was mandatory. Even if we had the vehicle they wanted, is that they couldn't always buy what they wanted, right? We had to show them what they could buy so that they can achieve the dream that they want one day. And we had to paint a picture for them. And that is something that by having this awareness with your CRM, looking inside there, having this awareness with your lead management system, with your inventory management system, all working together, it should be one. It really should be. You know, you shouldn't have like your internet leads and this thing. No, they should blend together somehow. And my guess is one day he's going to have something that's going to be special just for that.
The thing is that it is one. That's the thing that most of us don't recognize, is that the actual organization, it is one. We are one. We just pull in different directions. And because we're all pulling in different directions, this one unit isn't really going anywhere.
But see, that the physical lot, we do work together. You know, the manager comes out and TOs, hey, gotta get you some coffee. Hey, I'm going to be your appraiser. You know, I'm going to go appraise your car. What can you tell me about it? So they work together on the physical lot so well, just not the other thing I wanted to bring up is like a lot of the CRM follow-up process is time management. Fresh lead gets called every day. 2-week-old lead every other day. You know, I'll ask a guy, if you have an aged car and you're about ready to drop the price or wholesale, but you see you got 5 leads on them, how often would you want to call those leads? And most of us every day. So yeah, but what if that lead, one of those leads is 45 days old? Your CRM set up you're lucky if it's still active. It's probably telling you once a month to follow up because, oh, that's an old lead. Don't worry about
lost
it.
lead,
like, well, no, hold on a second. Yeah. So again, the CRM process is based off of time of the lead and not the process or the problem of the inventory. But again, that's just not how it is in the real world. So why we let it happen in the virtual world? So again, that's the stuff we're trying.
I love that you say it like that.
It's so basic.
We let it happen.
But it's so basic. It is. But yet we are so blinded as car people. And it's okay. Listen, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. We all fit inside that room. But and even he's been doing it how long now? You said
25 years.
25 years of looking at this data and just now realizing it somewhat. I mean, I think he always kind of knew, but he just kind of isolated it finally. He was like, holy crap, almost like a awakening moment. Like he unplugged from the matrix and was like, holy smacks, here we are. And it's really cool because you're excited about that. But what's most importantly is that you're excited about what it can do for us as car people and for our clients to be able to help them find vehicles smoother. Because a lot of times people, they even give up because no one understands that. No one sees that there's opportunity to show them something different that might blow their mind. I could tell you a million times that I've moved people from one car to another and they drove it and they loved it more than the one they came in on. Oh, yeah. So if you don't give that opportunity to your clients to be able to show them different options, you're missing tons of opportunity. You're missing tons of money, but most importantly, you're missing a chance to be able to meet other people and share this. So they share it and it just grows. So.
Yeah. And it's just getting back to the basics. And again, a lot of times dealers will chase the new shiny tool. Hey, Facebook marketing or this or that texting. And, you know, so, but let's just, before we do all that, let's make sure our house is clean and sure it's straight.
And that's the thing that every time a dealer wants, right? We want the opportunities, right? You all say opportunities out there. We're connecting the big O, and we want the opportunity to be able to present somebody an option. The problem is when that option goes away, now all of a sudden we want to burn our opportunity as if we can't speak to that customer anymore. Well, if we can continuously connect our opportunities, the person that gave you their information, that's always an opportunity for the customer. That you just being able to spend time with them on the phone, sales pro, manager, that's an opportunity for them to get closer to what it is that they want. And the way the market is now, the opportunity to actually strike on a car is why customers are paying what they're paying, because they have the opportunity of doing it. If there were more options, they probably wouldn't be spending as much, right? If there were more options out there. But ultimately, if you all can connect the opportunities to more options and consistently show your opportunities options, eventually there's going to be a connection point where a deal happens and a relationship gets made. What would you say is critical that if, okay, let's say that they don't get together with LotPop, what would be a point of advice that you would advise managers, those that are handling inventory, to start looking at right now with the opportunities that they have available? What would be one thing that you would advise them to do?
I think going forward, I think the writing is on the wall. You know, the economy is going to get a little, worse. I mean, for a little bit, and people are going to be tightening their budgets. I think inventory supply is going to keep raising up. There's going to be more available. It's my point. If people are submitting leads, or you start getting less leads because less people are shopping for inventory,
right?
Or if you do get a lead, they're probably pretty darn serious. They're not playing around right
I
now,
agree with
right?
you.
You know, they're half these people, a majority of people are worried about how they're getting groceries next week. And if they're submitting a lead on a car, obviously there's a need there. So don't give up on them so quick. So I think you're going to get less leads. You got to be more effective with the leads you have, and then recycle the previous leads. Again, those active leads on sold cars, try to recycle them. That allows you to kind of tighten your rein as a dealer too. You don't have to go chase and spend more money on advertising or hire more people. You know, let's figure out the good effective leads we have, recycle the ones we do have. Because again, going forward, I think if you're going to either cut back, dealers are getting tightening their purse strings too. So if they're going to cut back on advertising and or there's going to be less activity or leads coming in, you got to, again, get back to basics. We were able to get sloppy for a while. We didn't have to follow up with customers because they just show up and buy the dang car anyways, or it sells in 2 days. So what's the point of following up? We got to get, we got to get past that.
And usually good when times are good, that's when we get our bad habits, right? When things are a little bit too easy for us, that lazy muscle starts to swell up where everything else that makes us strong car guys kind of dims down. And I love that we're highlighting that. And of course, we're not saying it in a bad light. What we want to encourage is that the incredible professionals that are out there that are constantly trying to make themselves better at the craft of connecting to people are going to consistently get better. There is the blur of prosperity that we are in for the moment that does get us to the point where we're almost numb to getting almost convicted for the change. And what I love with you is that you're always saying, here's the data. This is just the info. This is what it looks like. Take it and go. You got this awesome book. Y'all got to make sure that you get this.
Make sure you
guys
that's
that author pose right there.
Work the facts.
There he is, right? You got to work the facts. Tell us about what's inside of that book and why they got to get that.
It's 9 years now here at LotPop. All the metrics that we track and trend, dealers can do it themselves. So we just happen to be pulling it for them. But all the metrics that we've tracked and trended that help dealers get both gross and volume is in that book, you know, because dealers feel like they have to either choose volume or gross. You can have both, but it's a lot of different things you need to be tracking. You know, if things are slowing down, is it your average investment, days supply? Is it you got too many trucks, not enough cars? Is your 16 to 30 H bucket bleeding through? Well, why? You know, so it's just every metric in there. There's also QR codes to videos that I explain the graphs even more. So again, it's just what I like what we do and what we just talked about. A lot of dealers can do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've always shared this stuff. Back in the day, I wrote articles 2002, 2003 about my internet. I shared everything because I knew you still do. One, it was the right thing, but two, I also knew that it's knowing is one thing, but execution's another.
Brother, we've heard this.
I'll share it because
you can give it all away because you can lead a ton of horse to water, but only a few will drink it. And you know what? There's plenty of business for all of us. That a few drink it, that's fine. If you all drink it, that would be fantastic. But the problem is that we all don't drink it, and that's why the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement, because we all can do that. Even I sometimes drink the water and forget to sometimes, right? So we have to understand it's okay to make mistakes, but the biggest thing is what are we doing right this moment? Because yesterday is gone. So we got to forgive. We need to focus and fly. And speaking of that, let's roll that out. There's any last words you want to say before we get out of here today? Because I know there's some great people speaking.
I tend to do a video tip at least once a week, maybe every other week, worst case scenario. But YouTube, there's LotPop Inc. Just go there. You know, I share all the insights, all the things we're seeing happening. You know,
you do, man.
I just shared the other day my April video that what July was going to look like, and you know, based on all the data we're seeing, and it pretty much mapped it out. So the things that we share, it's not just what we gut or what we think. We do a lot of research and make sure dealers are prepared.
Right, and he's consistent with it. What I love is the dice that you do give to us, right? Because and it is. There's things that we want to make sure that we do, Mark, and again, the consistent application of delivering good news, even if it's free, even if it's something that you've had to toil to figure out, even if it's something that you've invested in, you continue to put those seeds out there, give people the opportunity to grow something, grow closer towards you, ask questions, right? I never see you be like, you know what? That's something you're definitely going to have my product for us to talk about. No, you're always sharing that info, right? And that kind of connection is what it is that we want to do. That's why we're brewing solutions.
Literally,
with this
guys,
car
folks,
guy. Make sure that
he's
you
so
check
hot
him
that
out.
he literally wraps us around with his love.
That's right.
Every one of these events, if you guys have been to some of these events, you see that he loves to be the lanyard guy, right? And what I love about that is he's wrapping himself around you. He's making sure that you guys are there, right? That's love that he's doing. I love that, man. We appreciate what you are, who you are, and everything that you're about, man. Your business is fantastic, but to me, it's more about you. And I've grown to really just find you as a great guy, as a great mentor, and as a friend over the last year or so, man. And we look forward to seeing what else comes up. Folks, be ready to watch a 5-liner. We're going to make sure we schedule one with him before we get out of here this week. He's here with his family. This is a family man that loves his family, that loves the industry, and he loves what he does. And he's going to constantly evolve, and he's going to make it better. So reach out to him. If you even just have questions, he's happy to answer them. He'll sit down and give you all the answers, right? But the question is, what are you going to do with those answers? I'll tell you what, grow with those answers.
You were here, you just get this book.
That's
just
all you
give
need.
It to you.
Hey,
right?
you guys already saw. Make sure you guys go to workthefacts.com. You guys see it right down there.
What?
Go check out his YouTube channel, LotPop Inc. It's rocking and rolling. He's giving out great information, folks. But most importantly, he's just a good dude. So cheer him on. Let's cheer everybody on. We appreciate your time, man. Let's forget,
well, let's go ahead and do this. So you know the deal. We want to make sure that we do connect with you all, but we want to make sure that we do encourage you all to keep growing. That's why we brew solutions with incredible car guys like Jasen, and we can't wait to see more of what it is that brews. And I know you can't wait to hear the 5-liner on this dude. But we're going to apply these 3 F-bombs. And we're going to make sure that we do forgive, focus, and fly so that we can keep growing. So that's, remember, wipe off the weight of unforgiveness, focus on wherever it is that we're going, who we can help, stretch out and fly. So on 3, car guys and car gals, help me out as we forgive, focus, and fly at CIADA 2022 with the one, the only, Jasen Rice. Let's get this rocking on 3.
The Unfair Advantage Automotive Mastermind Group. Come on down, folks.
Let's go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing. Keep
y'all
growing.
Be good.
That's what I'm talking about, everybody.
We'll be live all day long. You guys be blessed.
Let's
see you
brew.
later.